Before you give up on her, listen to this. Most men give up too soon. They assume the battle is lost before it even truly begins. When she becomes distant, acts cold, and stops responding like she used to, you feel like it's over. But wait a second. What if I told you this is actually your greatest opportunity? Instead of reacting with panic, desperation, or self-doubt, you have the power to flip the script without begging, chasing, or losing your self-respect. The problem? Most men don't see this. They act impulsively, let emotions take over, and that's exactly what pushes her further away. Before you walk away for good, pause. Watch this video. What I'm about to share will put you in a position that very few men ever reach. Why is she becoming distant? Most men panic when a woman starts to pull away. They assume she's lost interest, found someone else, or stopped caring. But the truth? It runs much deeper. Women don't just wake up one day and suddenly lose feelings. It happens gradually, in phases. At first, when she met you, there was mystery, excitement, and challenge. But now, she knows exactly how you feel. Your actions have become predictable. And deep down, she wants to test you. She wants to see, do you panic? Do you overreact? Or do you stay calm and steady? Women need space to feel attraction again. Remember this. Attraction isn't built through words. It's built through emotion, tension, and distance. When something is too easy, too predictable, always available, its value drops. This is where most men go wrong. Instead of holding their ground, they text more, call more, chase harder, and that kills attraction. When she doesn't have to work for your attention, she stops appreciating it. Before we dive in, if you find this message valuable, help spread the Stoic mindset with me. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. If you're enjoying this, drop a 1 in the comments. If not, drop a 2. I'm always listening, always improving. Our mission? Bridging ancient wisdom with modern life. Let's do this together. 1. The silent test you don't even realize is happening. Most men completely miss this. That sudden coldness, that distance, it's not random. It's an unconscious test. She's not sitting there plotting it out, but her instincts are. And whether you realize it or not, she's watching, testing. She's wondering, is he emotionally strong enough to handle this? Will he panic and chase, or will he stay steady? Is he truly in control of his emotions, or is it just an act? And this is where most men fail. Where most men go wrong. The moment she ignores them, they text. The moment she takes longer to reply, they get anxious. The moment she cancels plans, they rush to reschedule. Every single one of these reactions sends a loud and clear message. She has complete control over the situation. And when that happens, attraction fades. What successful men do differently? The men who pass this test, the ones who truly stand out, do the exact opposite. They don't react emotionally, they don't chase, they don't beg for explanations. Instead, they remain steady, unshaken, in control. And when that happens, something unexpected occurs. She starts to feel regret. Because women are drawn to men who have real value, men who don't break under pressure. Holding your ground is how you pass this test. 2. The power of distance and control. Most men don't realize this. Women don't fall in love with gifts. They fall in love with absence. When you give too much, too easily, it loses value. But when you create space, that's when appreciation grows. Think about it. When something is always available, always easy to get, you start to take it for granted. But the moment it disappears, you begin to crave it. This is why pulling away at the right time is one of the most powerful moves you can make. Instead of texting her first, wait. Instead of liking her posts, ignore them. Instead of rearranging your schedule for her, prioritize your own time. When you do this, everything shifts. Why it works. The moment you stop being predictable, stop always being available, stop reacting instantly, she notices. She starts to wonder, why isn't he texting me? Is he losing interest? Or is he seeing someone else? And in that moment, when you stop giving too easily, your absence becomes unforgettable. That's when she starts wanting you again. Control the distance. Don't always be present, and you'll see the magic happen. 3. What to do instead of chasing. When faced with this situation, most men think, if I explain myself, if I show her how much I care, she'll come back. But attraction doesn't work that way. You can't convince someone to love you with words. You can't talk your way back into her heart. Instead of chasing, match her energy. If she's being distant, don't compensate by being overly warm. Take a step back, stay neutral. If she reaches out, respond calmly, but don't overinvest. The big mistake most men make. Here's where most men go wrong. Imagine this. She disappears for a week. Then, out of nowhere, she texts you. What do most guys do? They jump at the chance, as if it's the best thing that's ever happened to them. Big mistake. The right way to handle it. Stay composed. Don't act like her message is a lifeline. Don't let her think you've been waiting this whole time. Let her put in effort to regain your attention. If she walked away before, now she needs to prove she's serious about coming back. Don't fall into old habits of being too available or too eager. Let her feel the distance, because when you do this, she starts to respect you more. She realizes you're not someone she can take for granted. And that's what makes you attractive again. 4. If she never comes back, read this. Here's the truth you need to accept. Not every woman will come back, and that's completely okay. If she leaves forever, she's actually done you a favor. She's saved you from wasting time on someone who was never the right fit, because you don't need a woman who stays just because you chase her. You deserve someone who stays because she genuinely values you. The power of silence. Very few men understand this. Most believe they need to explain, argue, or fight to regain her attention when she pulls away. But the truth is, silence is more powerful than 1,000 words. Silence creates mystery, uncertainty, and emotional tension. At first, she assumes you'll come back. She expects you to check in, to fix things. But then, days pass, weeks pass, and suddenly, she realizes you're actually gone. And in that moment, something shifts in her mind. You are no longer the predictable guy who was always waiting. You've disappeared from her world. You've created a void she never expected, and that forces her to reevaluate her feelings for you. What if she still doesn't come back? Then that's your answer. It means she was never the right person for you in the first place. Remember, silence isn't just a reaction. It's a statement of your self-worth. 5. Why women underestimate you until you go silent. Most women assume that men will always be available. They believe that no matter what they do, ignoring, pulling away, acting distant, the man will still be there. Because most men do exactly that. They chase, they wait. They can't handle distance. But what happens when you don't act like other men? What if, instead of chasing, you choose silence? The power of breaking expectations. Suddenly, you shatter her assumptions, and that forces her to stop and think. Wait, why isn't he reacting? Why isn't he trying to talk to me? Could he actually be gone? And in that moment, everything changes. These questions trigger deep emotions she didn't expect. And then, she starts asking herself, did I misjudge him? That one question creates a powerful shift inside her. How silence changes everything. At first, she thought she had you all figured out, but now, your silence has forced her to reassess everything. The distance, the absence, the mystery. It has made her see your value in a way she never did before. She now realizes, you are not a man who is easily controlled. You are not a man who is taken for granted. 6. The moment she starts to feel your absence. This is the part most men never get to see because they give up too soon. At first, when you go silent, she might feel relieved. She assumes you'll reach out soon, send a message, pop up on social media like usual. But then, nothing happens. No texts, no calls, no interactions from you whatsoever. Days pass, then weeks, and suddenly, she starts checking her phone more often. Still nothing, and that's when something unexpected happens. Her certainty begins to fade. The shift begins. Now, instead of feeling in control, she starts asking herself, what is he doing? Did I make a mistake? Why isn't he coming back? And suddenly, she's the one feeling unsettled. She's the one wondering, did I lose him? At this moment, the power dynamic shifts. You are no longer the one chasing. The distance you created forces her to reevaluate everything. And then, the biggest question of all enters her mind. Did I misjudge this man? The power of silence. This is why silence and absence are so powerful. By standing firm, you're not just maintaining your self-respect. You're triggering emotions in her that she never saw coming. And the moment she truly feels your absence, that's when everything changes. 7. The unspoken rule of attraction. Here's a truth most men don't realize. Your value in a woman's eyes is determined by how difficult you are to replace. If you're always available, always responsive, always there, she never has to consider the possibility of losing you. And ironically, that makes you less valuable. But when you create distance, when you go silent, she starts to feel your absence. And that discomfort leads to questions. Did I take him for granted? Did I misjudge his value? And that's when everything changes. The power of mystery. The best part? These thoughts happen naturally. She's not consciously choosing to feel this way. Her instincts are driving her emotions. Because when something is always available, it loses value. But when it disappears, it becomes a mystery. And mystery creates attraction. The key to magnetic attraction. Attraction isn't just about what you say or do. It's also about what you don't say and don't do. Holding back just a little. Keeping a part of yourself unknown. That's what makes people think about you, wonder about you, and ultimately feel drawn to you. 8. Why she suddenly starts watching you again. When silence takes over, she'll do what most women instinctively do. She'll start keeping tabs on you. She'll check if you've been active, scroll through old messages, maybe even like one of your posts, just to see if you react. But why? Because deep down, one crucial question has started to form in her mind. Did I actually lose him? And that question, it keeps her thinking about you. The shift in her emotions. The moment she realizes she might have lost a man who once cared deeply for her, emotions she never expected begin to surface. Suddenly, she feels emptiness, uncertainty, insecurity, feelings she never had when she thought you were always there. Your absence becomes heavy in her mind. Now, your absence isn't just space. It's something she can't ignore. It forces her to reevaluate her feelings, to reconsider the entire relationship. Because when you are no longer easy to reach, you are no longer predictable. You become a mystery. And mystery, that's what makes you valuable in her eyes again. 9. Subtle signs. She's testing the waters. This is the stage where many men make a critical mistake. When she sends out a subtle test, they take the bait without realizing it. She might send a random text, react to your post, message you about something trivial. But don't be fooled. It's not random. It's not meaningless. What's really happening? She's checking to see, are you still there? And if you respond too quickly, too eagerly, you unintentionally confirm that she still has full control over your attention. It's like hitting a reset button. She realizes she can have you any time she wants, and just like that. The curiosity, gone. The uncertainty, gone. All the emotions that made her interested again, gone. The result? She loses interest all over again. What should you do instead? Stay composed. Don't rush to reply. Don't act too eager. Let her see that you're not easily pulled back in. By remaining calm and in control, you keep the power dynamic in your favor. And that's how you maintain the attraction she is slowly rediscovering. 10. How to handle the moment she reaches out. When she finally reaches out after your silence, many men think they've won. They assume everything is back to normal and start acting just like they did before. Big mistake. This is actually the most crucial moment because how you respond will determine everything. You have two choices. Option 1. Fall back into old patterns, become predictable, easily available again. She realizes she still has control, and just like that, attraction dies all over again. Option 2. Stay composed. Let her earn your attention. Now, you become the challenge, and women are naturally drawn to challenges. The final mindset shift. You must understand this. You never want to be the guy who is always available and always chasing. Instead, focus on your life, your goals, your purpose. When you give her space to miss you, your value in her eyes skyrockets. You're no longer seeking approval. Now, she's the one who has to prove she deserves your attention. Long-term attraction comes from standards, not chasing. Being attractive isn't about constantly pursuing her. It's about having high standards for who deserves your time and energy, letting her show that she's worthy of your attention. This isn't about playing games. This is about self-respect. And that is the difference between men who get used and men women never forget. When silence becomes unbearable for her. At first, she expects you to come back. She assumes you'll text, try to reconnect, but then you don't. And suddenly, your silence becomes something more. Now it's not just a break, it's a void in her emotions. She starts checking her phone constantly, hoping to see your name, rereading old messages, searching for clues about why you've disappeared. And then the questions start. Did I push him too far? Was I wrong about him? Your silence is no longer just inconvenient. It's messing with her emotions. What most men don't understand. This isn't just about her missing you, it's about control. And she realizes she no longer has control over you, and that drives her crazy. Her response: she might seek attention elsewhere, text old flings, meet new people, post on social media just to get a reaction. Try to make you jealous, but deep down, it's not working. Because here's the truth: no one can replace you. Even if she tries, you're still in the back of her mind. She starts comparing everyone else to you, and she loses. The harder she tries to move on, the more she realizes she's only making it worse for herself. You've become a mystery she can't solve, and that is why you are unforgettable. 11. Why her ego won't let her admit she misses you. When it comes to missing someone, women operate on two levels. Emotional side: she genuinely feels the loss, the regret, and the desire to have you back. Ego side: she hates admitting she was wrong and refuses to be the first one to acknowledge her feelings. So instead of being upfront, she plays games. How she tests the waters. She might send a random text like, "Hope you're doing well," just to see if you'll take the bait. She might suddenly start posting on social media, showing that she's happy, moving forward, living her best life. But in reality, she's just checking if you're still watching. On the outside, she seems fine, but inside, she's hoping you'll react, hoping you still care. However, when you don't react, that's when the real battle begins. The moment silence breaks her ego. Now, she's no longer sure of anything. She starts wondering, has he really forgotten about me? Or has he mastered the kind of emotional control most men never do? And that control, it changes everything. Your ability to detach shatters her ego and forces her to reevaluate the situation. She realizes you are the prize. You are no longer waiting around. She has lost the control she once had over you, and at that moment, she sees you differently. You've evolved. You've become a man who doesn't need validation or approval from her anymore. That's when she finally understands what you've known all along. Your value isn't based on someone else's approval. It's in your ability to walk away and never look back. What to do when she comes back? This is where most men fail. When she reaches out, they instantly fall back into old patterns, giving her attention, commitment, and validation too easily. Big mistake. Because the moment she senses she has full control again, she loses interest. All over again. Instead, here's what you do. Hold your ground. Make her work for your attention. Don't just pick up where you left off. Show her you've changed, not through words, but through actions. You are no longer chasing, waiting, or seeking validation. Now, you control the game, not through manipulation, but through self-respect and real value. And that is what makes you the man she will never forget. Final lesson: don't fall into the trap. Let your silence speak for you. Most men make a critical mistake when she comes back. They react too quickly. They get too eager. They give her exactly what she wants: validation. And once she gets that validation, she disappears again. This is why you can't play the game like most men do. When she returns, stay calm. Don't lose control just because she shows up again. Don't drop everything just because she texts you. Don't make her the center of your world just because she seems interested. And most importantly, don't fall back into old patterns, the ones that made her take you for granted. Make her earn your attention. If she truly values you, she will prove it, not with words, not with promises, but with real effort. And if she doesn't, then you still win, because now you realize you never truly needed her in the first place. Focus on yourself. Don't look back. If she lets you down, don't beg. If she walks away again, don't chase. Instead, focus on your goals. Focus on your growth. Keep moving forward and let your silence speak for you. This is how you become unforgettable. When you're no longer controlled by emotions or someone else's actions, you become a man of strength and self-respect. And that kind of confidence, it's the most powerful kind of attraction, one she'll never forget. In my personal opinion, silence and emotional self-mastery are truly among the most powerful factors in preserving one's value in any relationship. But let's be clear, silence is not indifference. It's not about detachment. If you stay silent just to create distance, without sincerity, without understanding, you risk causing misunderstandings or even hurting the other person. Silence is powerful when used at the right time, when it's paired with confidence and inner strength. Both men and women appreciate those who are emotionally independent, those who don't crumble at every minor shift in a relationship. But let's not mistake silence for a game. Distance should never be a tool for manipulation. Real relationships are built on mutual understanding and respect. Attraction doesn't just come from mystery or distance. True, sometimes you need to step back, to create space, to let someone miss you, but other times you need to speak up, to show care, to show commitment. The real art, it's in the balance. Knowing when to hold back and when to lean in. It's about creating harmony, not a power struggle. So, what do you think? Is silence always the answer? Or is there a time when honest dialogue speaks louder? In essence, we've uncovered a powerful truth. Silence isn't just the space between words. It's one of the most compelling tools in relationships. When a man masters the art of silence and distance, he doesn't just protect his own value, he becomes unforgettable. He lingers in a woman's mind, making her unable to stop thinking about him. Used correctly, silence creates mystery. It stirs emotions, awakens curiosity, and makes the other person feel a loss of emotional control, something women often subconsciously desire. By not reacting impulsively, by not clinging, you send a clear message. I am not dependent on anyone. You do not chase. You do not plead for attention. Instead, you hold your ground and let others make the effort to enter your world. But let's be clear, this is not about playing mind games or manipulation. This is about recognizing your own worth and offering it only to those who truly deserve it. And once she realizes she can no longer control you so easily, everything shifts. Curiosity grows. The desire to regain your attention intensifies. A question begins to haunt her mind. Have I lost him? In this moment, the balance of power shifts. You are no longer the one chasing. You become the one of true value, the one she longs for, the one she cannot forget. The most important lesson, staying firm. Even if she comes back, do not rush back into your old role. Do not immediately give her the validation she seeks. Stand your ground. Show her that you are a man of depth, a man who cannot be easily conquered. because it is this unwavering confidence that keeps attraction alive. This is what makes you irreplaceable in her eyes. Where does lasting attraction come from? Not from flashy gestures, not from empty words. It comes from your ability to control your emotions, maintain distance, let silence speak for your worth. That is how you leave an unforgettable mark on a woman's heart. Because in the end, your true value never depends on the validation of others. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That way, you'll never miss out on our most valuable lessons. And before you go, be sure to check out the video on your screen. It's exactly what you need to keep growing on your self-improvement journey. Thank you for being a part of Stoic Station. We appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one.